And hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jovan, and we're back for episode 5 of. I finally figured out the name, thanks to obviously obviously you can see on the screen as well. It's now called the Jovan NXT Takeover Rewind. We finally got there with the name, and obviously, yet again for the third episode in a row, we've got Angel Pena here to talk about NXT Takeover Rivals. Glad to have you back, mate. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting talking about this pay-per-view.
It's going to be a fantastic one. Thank you for having me back. Hello, everyone. Yeah, this was a terrific card, and I'm very excited to get to the last 3 matches of the contest and definitely talk about the first one. But this is going to be a compliment sandwich, a very thin layer, good first match. It's going to be a lot of dredge for 2 and 3, and then we'll work our way through the brilliant aspects of the rest of the card.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I was going for this baby, like I was like thinking to myself, like it was actually kind of cool. Where like you can see why they stuck with 4 matches or 5 matches in a way, because it's basically like take away maybe 2 matches here. Nothing against maybe the tag match or the really, what were they thinking with that no GQ stipulation for that Baron Corbin versus Paul Dempsey thing? Like, what are they thinking? But take that away.
I'll get there. I'll tell you exactly what they were thinking and why they failed at it. But let's start off with a hell of an opener.
Was it Itami going against was it Tyler Breeze? Was it Tyler Breeze at this point? I think it was like obviously I don't know the timeline between like obviously the Fatal 4-Way match and obviously where we are now, because obviously for us it's just like we watched it like a week ago, but obviously I think it's like 6 or 7 months. But yeah, I know I've seen a couple matches now, but I keep forgetting how good Tyler Breeze was, and every match I keep watching in these pay-per-views, it hurts more and more. It just hurts so much because this might be a big leap, but like it wouldn't be the first person to have this kind of vibe. But obviously, you could say Dolph had it, Dolph Ziggler had it, but like Shawn Michaels early kind of vibe, if that's what they were going for.
That vibe exists, but I think the right way, and you know, if Tyler Breeze himself would disagree with me on this, that's completely fine. I'm about to say something about how his career trajectory should have gone. But Tyler Breeze always struck me as the perfect guy to always be at the top of your mid card. And I only say at the top of the mid card because of his size, right? He doesn't have the agility of a Finn Balor or a Neville, right? That gives them that extra edge to break into the top of the top of the upper echelon of the card. And even a Buddy Murphy, because the one thing we're going to talk about is why I hate that their first instinct was, let's throw him in a tag team when he's literally carrying the dead weight of personality that is his partner. You know, I'm a science teacher, so we talk about, different types of relationships, mutualistic, symbiosis. This is Buddy Murphy, a vibrant, athletic wrestler being tag teamed with a decomposing human being in Blake. I'm sorry, but that's as nice as I can be about it.
I mean,
but let's get back to Tyler Breeze.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this is what the series is going to be. It's going to be looking at stuff that is so, I think we've said it many times, so great and so awesome, and why we love wrestling. But also it's going to remind us how what is it, disappointing sometimes that just you see someone so good and they just never, we know, like, it's bad when you know it's not going to materialize.
The stars don't align for them, because the stars did not align for him. If this is a Tyler Breeze who's younger and getting called up from NXT right now, we would all be frothing at the mouth like, Triple H knows what to do here. He's not going to fumble this. And by the way, even before we break down the match, I'd like to give Tyler Breeze some credit. He is a stronger willed man than I. There's no way I'm walking down the ramp and having Liv Morgan jump on me, and I'm not going to like turn around and sneak in a few snogging action there. I don't know how he had the willpower to hold back. That's beyond me, friend.
I've got to be honest, I found it strange that it's like they thought like they were trying to yell like fans came in, gave him a heart, he's gone up, a fan's come onto the stage and, that kind of stuff. I should have known better, because obviously the way they were kind of like, what was that? It's like, no, if it was real, they wouldn't have mentioned anything at all. Like, they would have said nothing. They would have just cut to the long cam and done nothing.
You are correct from a WWE corporate stance, but I mean, I'm a big time lover of a lot of mid-Atlantic and Southern wrestling here in the United States. They would have definitely kept the camera. Like, if you're watching some of the stuff they were doing down in Texas with the Von Erichs, they keep the camera on the girls jumping on them Von Erich boys. So I'm just saying it would make sense. It works here in the States if you let a few pretty girls through. You just worry about Tyler Breeze getting trampled at that point. What a problem to have, though. I think the only person who could relate is you, buddy. The only other guy who could hold the title of Prince Pretty. That's just reality that we're dealing with here.
Oh, so kind. But yeah, I think I have to admit, I saw that. Yeah, it's just like, I think that's because I'm sure I watched this pay-per-view like when it was out, and I was just like, when it was live, and I was just like, I don't remember that bit. Maybe I was too focused on the match. Maybe I just don't remember that. Sort of like, someone was jumping over Tyler Breeze.
Well, again, but another similarity between you and he. You were focused on the match, and I'm here thinking, she's already on me. I might as well take advantage of this. You and I are very different people.
Fair enough. But yes, that's the should we talk about the match?
Yeah, let's talk. Look, my biggest takeaway from this contest between Hideo Itami and Tyler Breeze is, again, this is a feather in the cap of Tyler Breeze. He was able to get all of his offense and his work style in this match while simultaneously making Hideo Itami look like a stud, professional, like big title threat. And that was the job of Tyler Breeze in this match. This wasn't a, hey, Hideo, let's put some polish on Tyler Breeze. We really want him to be something. No. They asked the young guy, go out there and make this veteran, like almost elevate the image of the veteran slightly in terms of the fact that he could withstand your onslaught, withstand the way you do things, and then he's going to put you out. So I love the execution. Both guys had really excellent timing in this match. Obviously, you'll get a few stumbles here and there. That's to be expected, but it looked professional, right? It looked at certain points, oh, they're in a conflict. So maybe if something didn't go as planned, it's like, yeah, they're tired. Like, this is a wrestling match. And so it works. This match works on a lot of different levels.
Oh, 100%. Like, yeah, I mean, you always forget, like, I think they brought it up a lot, is that he's only been in, 6 months, I think, at this point. I think Sami, like, he was in there for like 6 months. So, like, again, it's another one we talked about last episode. It's like, again, it's like, you knew they were setting him up. They were like, let's see the way that this match was, the way they're booking it. It's just like, Tyler Breeze, it's obviously been in the, like, at this point, he's been like main events. He's gone for the title and he's beaten him in the way he did. And then we all knew that, he was getting close to the title. He wouldn't surprise me if he didn't, he was, as we said before, he was supposed to be the one to win the title. And then, or like, then he goes against Finn Balor, because that's really sad. We only got like one match from that, but that would have been nice. But yeah, what I like about this match is like they got all this stuff in, and it was only 8 minutes. It was just like
to draw. Sorry to cut you off, buddy, but to draw a parallel, it's very akin to what they're doing with Penta right now on Raw. Right, you bring in this veteran. Okay, let's throw guys in there that'll, again, will keep the loser of the contest looking strong, but they're going to accentuate what Penta can do, right? And you see that here, and I'm starting to see that trend in Triple H's booking. He's like, how do I get both guys over but get my main point across? That's here. That's the now in this match between Hideo Itami and Tyler Breeze.
I mean, shouldn't that always be like it is, though? Right? It's like
no. Because when we get to match number 2, I'm going to show you why that why that doesn't ring true. Why it does not ring true.
So basically, we've got a perfect example of it working. And then when we talk about the next match, it's going to be a perfect example of why you shouldn't. But yeah, it's great opener. Like, two work in person, you knew it, just how excellent they are in the ring, going against each other. Give them, like, obviously, if it was there was timing issues where he gave him an extra couple of minutes, but 8 minutes, they done some pretty awesome stuff in what they with the time they've allotted, and obviously the right person won because obviously they were booking him at the time to be strong, and I do believe at some point he would have won that title, but
the person who needed to win won. That should be the goal of every wrestling match. The one who needs the win. Tyler Breeze was just starting to get on his way and prove like, plug me in with anybody. I'll show you. Again, it's that, you said it, it's that Dolph Ziggler thing. Plug me in with anyone and you're going to have a match of the night contender.
I mean, that's not a bad place to be.
Genius.
It's not a bad place to be. I mean, if it's like, if a wrestling company's sitting there going, like, literally says to you going, yeah, well, we know if you put you in the ring, you'll deliver. Like, that's probably the best place to be.
That's why I said top of the mid card. Look, if you tell Tyler Breeze today, you're going to have a 10-year run in WWE, you're going to be a multi-time Intercontinental Champion, U.S. Champion, you're going to travel the world doing what you love. Shit, sign me up for that. You could tell me I'm going to have a 4-year losing streak as long as you fit an Intercontinental title reign in there. Let's go.
Oh, my word.
Let's go.
I feel a world title, but as you know, my feelings towards the Intercontinental title, I would. If someone said, I'll give you an Intercontinental, I would love that. I love the Intercontinental title.
And listen, if they want to sweeten the deal for me as I'm walking down the ramp, they have Stephanie Vacour jump on me. Yeah, let's go. Sign me up. Woo!
Okay. Or, I mean, there's that. Or, but.
Listen, she has a very interesting way of locking up people's heads. I would very much like to be a part of that.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh god. But anyway, let's finish off with this was a very good opener. Let's finish off with that.
It was.
But one thing before we get to the match that I've got a lot of feelings
before the bathroom break match, yes.
Well, it's not even unless it's it's a pretty short match to be fair. But I mean, I've got to bring it up because obviously they've done a thing. Like I just found it hilarious when obviously after the match they went backstage with Kevin Owens and you got William Regal kind of. He's like, we're talking about his eyes and the way like how viciously and angry he looks.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help but laugh. It's just funny the way that it's like it's been probably 2 months after that incident in that timeline, and he's still pissed with him. He's like looking at him going, like was it Sami Zayn later on? It was like, yeah, he's like, the only rules, but like, yeah, he's I just found that hilarious. Like just like even 2 months later, he's still pissed with him, and he's still given that look of disappointment and fury. But I found that hilarious. But
I mean, I would have just caved in that moment. Kevin Owens is a far greater professional to handle that. If I'm in that situation, I'm either going to cave and I'm going to be like, you're making me a little uncomfortable. Can you just step back, just 1 foot back? Thank you. Like I would have had to have not acknowledged it. There's no way I could keep that level of composure in that moment.
Especially the way he's looking at you with the way he's like, it's like we talk about serious kind of like, annoyed face. You just like if he's right there, you're like, have you got like at some point you'd be like, what have you got a problem? Like just like if he didn't acknowledge it. So I just look,
it took me back to one of the many times I pissed my mom off during my teenage years. I was just like, I don't want to tolerate this right now.
So you said the words, you got the look.
Yeah. And then I got something thrown at my head.
Oh, well,
Listen, Latina moms in the States are a different breed. Okay, they're a different breed altogether.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, I just had to bring it up. Because I just thought it was funny. It was quite funny. Just like Winnie Regal holds a grudge. Especially
hell yeah. And I love the way he holds a grudge. Think about it. In his entire tenure, when he expresses outrage, no one hands down a punishment like William Regal. How many times has he yelled War Games, right? And that's what we all associate with the War Games announcement is his voice, right? This is not Teddy Long saying you're going to go one-on-one with The Undertaker and we're like, haha, we knew it was going there. No, William Regal's like, I'm going to find some way to torture you tonight.
Yeah. It wasn't the same when he left, when it came to War Games. Just wasn't the same.
But he's back now.
Oh, come on, Triple H. You wants to, It's got to be said. It's got to be said.
Yeah.
Make him GM again or something. Nothing against, or like,
You know what? Why not make him commissioner, and then he's overseeing, both GMs, and that's a whole new dynamic to piss them off.
Not against that.
Hey,
yeah,
he was commissioner once. He could be commissioner again.
It just proves that someone needs to sign us up for booking. Come on, guys. Come on, WWE. Come on.
It's right here. Stu can run the East Atlantic division. You give me the West Atlantic division. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, start the SmackDown and Raw kind of rivalries again.
Dibs on SmackDown. Haha.
Damn it.
Sorry. I've never been a Raw guy.
Nope, same. Every time we
no. I will happily accept Raw if that's where they send Stephanie Vacour. There, I have amended my statement.
Okay, so that's in the contract as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I feel like this is going to come up a lot of times during this podcast. I got to be honest. It's not twice.
Welcome to every conversation I have with my wrestling friends. Just beating that horse right into the ground.
Okay. Okay. But anyway, let's get back to talk about the match that. Oh God, so many feelings towards this match. A no GQ match in name only. In Baron Corbin versus Bull Dempsey. So why put a no GQ stipulation where the only weapon they kind of used was a steel chair near the end, and they didn't even use it.
Yep.
And also a no GQ match that's only 4 minutes long.
Well, no. A 4-minute long no DQ match can be done effectively, because this is welcome everyone to the portion where I tell you how I would have booked it. This is simple. You want in 4 minutes, give everyone a 4-minute glimpse of Baron Corbin's brutality and lack of humanity. And I'll tell you why they didn't do it is because this whole show is about Kevin Owens' brutality and lack of humanity at the end. See, they couldn't repeat what they were going to do in the main event, but how this should have been done is maybe not on this card, right? You can't have just two brutal sons of bitches running around NXT. This match should have been set up. Oh, Bull Dempsey requested it. He wants to fight you, right? He wants to stand up for himself and prove that he's tougher than you, only to run into a buzzsaw that is Baron Corbin. A buzzsaw where Baron Corbin hits him so hard and then utilizes no DQ only in the vein of getting to ignore the referee's count. He hits Bull Dempsey, puts him on the ground, drags him by the hair over to a rope, puts the bottom rope in Bull Dempsey's mouth, makes him bite down on it, and then puts his boot to the back of Bull Dempsey's head while grabbing the top rope for leverage and just leaning back, cranking Bull Dempsey's mouth. It's not a move that's going to break Bull Dempsey's back. No, it's a demeaning thing. And then when he's done and Bull, Baron Corbin lets go when he feels like it. And Bull tries to gather himself, play up the Bull nickname. He loses all composure. He charges at Baron Corbin, deep sixes him into the ground, and then just gets into a punching stance and wails on him until the ref calls for a stoppage. Oh, wait, we can't do that. The main event does that. Shit. This is why this match didn't need to be on the card, because it only works in a 4-minute moment to get over the lack of humanity that Baron Corbin should have shown, right?
Yeah.
But they don't do that. They were like, hey, guys, go wrestle for a little bit. And that was it.
I mean, to be fair, I find it quite funny. I mean, Baron Corbin didn't try when obviously at the start of the match he was running. What I found really funny in this match is that the ref kind of got in the way, and then he went, oh, wait, yeah, nah. It's like, just get out the way. Because it's like he stopped the momentum.
Or it proves a beautiful point. It's no DQ. Just wail on the ref. Beat him up.
I mean, all you have to do with ref is push him over, and then he'll be out for the whole match.
listen, here, I don't, this might be a universal thing, but if you just on stature alone, you stand Baron Corbin next to Kevin Owens, you kind of get the feeling Baron Corbin is the kind of guy who would beat somebody into unconsciousness and brokenness. And yet that's not what was done on this card. And so, look, this match is an abomination in trying to get someone over. Okay. This match, you can't even make it look good. Like, this is not even the kind of thing where you get beer goggles and you take the 2 home just because she looked like an 8 when you were drunk. Like, that's not what this match is.
I mean, to be fair, though, what they could have done with this one, if you got 4 minutes, sit there and go, okay, no DQ. Just make it brutal then. Just sit there and go, okay, we've got chair shots, we've got kendo sticks, we've got, I mean, if you want to, I know it's 4 minutes, get a table, I don't know, or some sort of brutality to it.
I think the more weapons you add, the more you make it an ECW vibe, which means you're making Baron Corbin cooler to people. The whole point of this match was to make Baron Corbin look as over as he's looked in his 2 previous takeover matches. The problem with that is the only way to do that is to make him, again, look as brutal as Kevin Owens looks in the main event. And this here is the problem Triple H had in booking these takeovers. As long as Kevin Owens is there, we should actually not put Baron Corbin over here, because it's the same trajectory they should be on, and it doesn't work when they're both on the same card.
I mean, when you know how they book takeovers, you know that, what was it? It used to be like just 4 or 5, was it 4 matches on it when it was properly booked the way we love it. This wouldn't surprise me. They saw this and gone, yeah, maybe 4 matches. Just basically have take the tag match off, take this match off, and then basically every other match in between, just keep it, and then we got yourself a fantastic card. But yeah, I mean, I think what bothers me is just why have the no DQ stipulation? If you wanted to have this match like this, just have it as a normal match then. It wouldn't be
just because you have an idea that you think can work doesn't mean you should try to force feed it to make it work.
I mean,
this didn't work.
Oh, the crowd weren't happy. Like, we'll talk about this. Like, I think they've they boot. Was it? They were like, it's normally not a good sign when the crowd's booing. Like, yeah, what is this?
You know what this match is? Not what it is. You know what this match? What emotion it elicited within me watching this? You're having a nice soiree with that special someone in your life, and things are ramping up, and then something happens that just kills the whole flow, and you're just like, well, we're never going to get to finish now. God damn. That's what this match is. It's a mood killer. And it took, and by the way, it took Finn Balor and Neville to get me back in the mood for this card.
I mean, it could explain, because obviously when we got into the tag team title match, like, yeah, the crowd were not invested in that one either. But yeah, I mean, you could sit there and say, because obviously after this, Baron Corbin, I don't know how long it was until he was called up, because I don't know if he brought up before, but it's if he just, it's just, and also the way he lost his undefeated streak as well. Like, the idea that he lost it, I remember in the number contendership tournament, he lost it through a count out.
I'm fine with losing that way. That's how you protect your ass kicker. You disqualification, count out. That's how it's supposed to be done. I'm good with that. You don't want him eating any pins.
Fair enough, but I think it's because he lost it to was it Paul Dempsey that did it? Probably would be a yeah, but
not a highlight booking decision in NXT's history.
No, but then I guess as we've obviously alluded to how early in this run is, you can see the mistakes they made early, and you can see what they tweaked later on. But yeah, 4 minutes, not a great match, and let's move on to the next match. That wasn't as bad as the match before, but it was solid. It was good. But one thing that was funny going into this match, maybe it's because obviously we don't have access to watching weekly NXT, the old ones. I totally forgot, was it Blake and Murphy were the champions going in?
And no one cared. It's like, they won the titles on NXT TV. No one cared. No one freaking cared.
No, it's because it's like I for some reason I thought this is where they lost the titles. It's like no, they lost it like a couple of weeks before. I'm like, wait, what? I'm sure. Wait, I must have missed that. Obviously, I've missed it not once but twice. But like, it's just, yeah, I was just shocked. I was like, oh, they're champions. Oh, okay, and he lost it on a random NXT. Just
Look, you ask me, this match only extends the bathroom break, because if you had told me this match is going to be Buddy Murphy against Kalisto, I'd be like, okay, now we're talking. Just give me the two actually good wrestlers in this match. I'll watch that. No. Look, I've said it before, and now I know I'm going to sound like a Lucha Dragon hater. You know what a Lucha Dragons match looks like. It always looks the same. It never looks any different. It never gives you a different vibe. This match is as cookie cutter as a tag team match. I'm removing it from NXT and WWE. Just tag team wrestling. It lacks in psychology. It lacks in the ways. Look, I love tag team wrestling. I think it's more of a masterful art in tag team wrestling to be able to navigate a crowd through all the emotions you want them to experience. Because you have the hot tag, you have cutting off the ring so that you, again, to build towards the hot tag, you have manipulations and fake tags and different ways to distract the ref. There are so many elements in tag team wrestling where you can work the crowd up into a frenzy without actually having to do too much. But you have to be great at it. Neither of these teams are great at it. And so what you get is a match that I'm just like, this too should have been on NXT TV and not a takeover.
I mean, it has all the hallmarks of a main event of an NXT TV, like 2-hour TV, or back in those days it was an hour, if I remember. But like, yeah, like you could build up a tag team title defense. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there was a lot of slip ups, a lot of mistakes. Looked a bit, I don't know what it is. It was, I guess as you're saying, something was off about it. Just didn't seem like, because at least with the other Lucha Dragon matches we've watched, I think it's the dynamic worked because obviously you had the ground and pound versus the high flyers. So it kind of worked better. But in this case, it's kind of both high energy teams. So it kind of like where's the dynamic and stuff. I think that's what it really was.
I love you, but I would never call Blake and Murphy high energy.
I mean, I would ground and pound. I wouldn't say that.
I would call this match, Buddy Murphy and his high school lackey teaming up. I'm sorry, just no to Blake for me.
Well, it kind of showed with was it Buddy Murphy? It's like who's the one's got the career now and where's? Yeah. I mean, I don't know where the hell Blake is now. What was it? I don't even know.
Hopefully under a bridge.
Wow.
Hey, I came to be on this show to drop some big takes and innuendo, and that's what I'm doing.
Wow, man. Okay, fair enough.
Hey, after that Forgotten Sons gimmick, I hate all three of those guys, okay? All three of them. I hate their existence.
Oh god, yeah.
You forgot about the Forgotten Sons.
Yeah, that exists. That was the thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
And that's why they existed, because you forgot about them. You see, as long as I remember them, they stay away. There's no hurting me.
I really wanted to forget. So, but God. But yeah, to be fair, this team didn't last long anyway. I think they were like champions for like a couple of months, and then they lost it in the next takeover.
Listen, they were so bad together, they had to include Alexa Bliss, which was a brilliant move, because then you're just like, buddy, Alexa, just move away from Blake. Leave him. Just over there. Just take a few more steps. Get him out of the picture.
It wouldn't be the first time someone's put like you got the one team that's more charismatic and the guy's carrying the other guy. Like it's not unheard of in a tag team, but usually, in theory, the great tag teams don't usually have that. Usually they're both great, or they work good together.
Well, listen. Let's. And this might be me stirring the pot, a little shit stirring, but there's a reason why this dynamic is working, and our usual co-hosts are not here right now.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Definitely gonna clip that one and send it around the sphere.
Listen, there has to be some reason why you traded. What is Josh, 6'2"? There's a reason why you traded a 6'2" gorgeous Viking actor for Mr. 5'8" all charisma. All right, there has to be a reason. Some people would say you traded down. I would say you traded up. Okay, even though I'm more vertically challenged than he.
Okay, maybe it was all part of my plan. Maybe it's long-term booking.
There you go.
Maybe it was like done those 7 years, and then just when I found something better, done a Kevin Owens and pushed him to the side.
This is a brilliant move on your part, because now you've opened a whole door of Latinas, of Latin women who now see you in a different light because you brought this swarthy Puerto Rican onto the show. They're gonna be like, "Oh, what's going on there?"
Okay. Anyway,
I'm just trying to manifest Stephanie Vacour onto this program. I'm just doing my best.
Manifestation doesn't work like that, mate. I gotta be honest. Manifestation doesn't work.
Don't tell that to my vision board. Continue.
Jesus. Anyway.
Did I say vision board? I meant my ritualistic shrine. I'm sorry. Continue.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, if we're talking about how bad Evan loved that match, obviously, was it the video interruption, or the kind of cliche kind of was it someone interrupting the transmission?
Oh yeah.
Yes. I'm not trying to downplay it, but yes, this was kind of a tease for obviously Soloman Crowe. That was it Sam Callahan that it never worked, did it? It's never one of these things they tried.
He never worked at any phase of his career. He's not working now in TNA. And by the way, I only say that he was somewhat cordial. I had gone to a TNA taping maybe 2-3 years ago here in New York City, and I met him. And this is no ding on him, but he is much shorter than I. I am 5'8". He is much shorter than I. I repeat, I am 5'8". And he seemed like a fairly decent human being. But I'm sorry, the whole hacker. If you're going to be a hacker, why? If you're going to be able to control all the comms, why are you attacking NXT? Go piss somebody over on Raw and SmackDown.
Is hacker gimmicks ever worked?
It would only work if you started like fixing in. Like you get the Street Profits looking at their phones. Someone stole all the money from our bank accounts. Like if you have them actually stealing money from people, sure. Or this is going to be super relevant, right? How a hacker gimmick works on NXT. All of a sudden, GM Ava's office is filled with all the female talents saying their phones got hacked and certain images got dumped online. This might be my hacker gimmick in NXT. Stephanie Vacour's like, ¿Qué diablo? Todo de mi foto. Like just boom, 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 boom.
Jesus Christ.
That's how you get a hacker gimmick over in the modern day, friend.
Oh, what have I done? What have I done? Oh God, what have I done? But basically, we can all agree that basically hacker gimmicks don't work, and sadly,
no.
This he tried for what, a month, and then kind of they tried it for a bit, and then it just didn't go anywhere. But I had to bring it up because obviously it kind of I just find it funny. It's basically we're talking about the tag team match, and they're like, "Wow, this wasn't very good." And then there's basically like, "Oh, why they're celebrating their title defense? We're just going to put some random stuff so we could distract from it." I found
that's where you put your distraction when the bad thing just happened. Distraction
with interference, yes. But now we've got through the stuff that stuff we weren't happy with. Now we can talk about the fun stuff. And what a match this was! The final of the #1 contendership tournament, with obviously Finn Balor, Demon Finn Balor, we should point out, going against Adrian Neville, and oh my God, again, I shouldn't be surprised, because if you see the two people here, you should be like, it's going to be a great match. But watching it back, wow, what a match this was. This was absolutely amazing.
This match was better than any antidepressant I could have popped in my mouth. All right. That's the kind of praise I'm going to heap on this match, because I'm also going to heap another kind of praise on it. If you need the blueprint for what an excellent under 15-minute match could look like on any weekly show or any premium live event, this is it. These are the kind of matches that should be asked of, whether it's an aging vet today like Finn Balor, right? We're talking about him much younger, or anybody on the roster. Braun Breaker, go give me a 13-minute match, but keep this work rate up. Now, what makes this match work? I don't know how much chemistry Finn Balor and Adrian Neville had going into it. I don't know how much time they've had in ring to kind of get the feel for each other's movements, timing, kind of strategy. And yet, whether they've been practicing for months, whether they had gone in cold, this match highlighted both guys. They got all their offense. They did their grappling. You know, they played to the crowd in the moments. They did the psychological things to kind of rile each other up. This match is perfect for what it was asked to do. This match could have been the main event on any other takeover previous, and we would have been grateful for it. That's the kind of praise I'm going to heap on this match.
I think I can't think of words. That's how good this match is. It's just, I think it's because it's like, again, it's like how they presented it. Just like it started off slow, and it's just worked its way in. And I kind of like the bit where, like, what was it? Neville was kind of like slowly but surely kind of getting yet again. It's probably a theme here. It's like yet again getting frustrated, or like finding that he keeps hitting all his best stuff and he can't get the job done. That's kind of ironic when it comes to, obviously, when in the lot with Sami Zayn, he was saying that's what's happening that he was doing. Mm-hmm. It's like, but now Neville's become that guy, like, because obviously I think he kept hitting all his best stuff, and it's just like Finn Balor kept kicking out.
Actually, you said something that brings up an idea to me about something we were talking about prior to recording. You have Neville, the former champion, right, who has experienced such great successes up until the last takeover. He's viewed as, you know, being greater than when it comes to this roster. And yet now he runs into his roadblock. One of the first guys on this roster who can stop his offense, who can cut his legs out from under him. In this match, you've given Neville the opportunity to have self-doubt, to have a crucible to go, okay, wait, nothing I'm doing is working. And then you add that element of, can he figure out the right tactics to make it work? That's what should be done with anybody on the main roster, right? Every former champion, when a guy loses a title, they need to have that question of, can I get back to the top? Because we were talking about maybe some of the woes of John Cena's booking. That element right there, where John goes, what more do I need to do? During his main run, I only saw John Cena have that problem with one guy, Batista. And I guess maybe Vince thought that was more palatable booking-wise. Well, of course John's going to have trouble with Batista. Look at Batista, right? Meanwhile, John's running through Shawn Michaels. He's running through Triple H. He's running through a litany of Hall of Famers, but it was Batista's that roadblock. And I think John Cena would have been more palatable to the audience if he had more of these interactions, but Neville does it so perfectly here. Here in NXT, Neville is doing that so perfectly. Like, what the am I supposed to do to get out of this one?
I know. It's just, I think I find interesting is like the idea with, obviously, again, I keep forgetting. Like, it was with Finn Balor. It's like the face paint. That's like, I thought they just done it for his debut or his first match, but I didn't realize they became
a takeover tradition.
Yeah, it's just I was just like, maybe it's because it's been a while since watched it, but it's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's probably because in WWE when he went and top main roster, it's like you never saw him wear. It was very rare he wear, but and obviously they were
By the way,
trying
how many out of shape wrestling fans you think just started like covering themselves in black paint, looking at the mirror, doing the mannerisms?
I mean, I have to admit one thing that was kind of funny. I saw that. It's like the poor cameraman. I think there was a bit right when he was coming in where he headbutted the cameraman, and I was
that guy
like,
had to learn.
it's like, well, yeah, get out of my way. This is my entrance, you know. And also, if you want to look at it from a character's aspect, technically is embraced. He's in a demon, so maybe he was just like, yeah, get that camera out of my face. I don't know, but I just found that really funny.
They call him the demon. I don't necessarily need him to be nice to the outside workers.
I just found little things like that. I find hilarious because the cameraman's like, oh wait, yeah, I'll just get out of the way. Yeah, maybe it might be the smart move, but yeah, I think with Neville, I think it was like it seems like a storyline they could have went with, but I'm sure like it was quite soon after this, or like he went up to the main roster. I'm sure I've always used to have like another year or something in NXT. I'm not quite sure, but I don't know. But yeah, I mean, one thing I would like to point out is like we're talking about how good Neville is, because obviously I think we're probably in previous podcasts we've said how good he is. But when I was watching his match, I was like, I mean, did he ever win the IC title when he was on the main roster? Am I the only one that how the Intercontinental Championship is supposed to be the workhorse championship? He would have been a brilliant, in my opinion, brilliant Intercontinental champion.
I think the one difficult thing with WWE in the modern day that they didn't adapt from maybe MMA is I like the fact that MMA, the middleweight division, the guys who weigh 185, 190 pounds, those are some of the best fights on a UFC card, right? And the UFC has benefited from legends like an Anderson Silva, or even, the guy who dethroned Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman, where why aren't you having a middleweight title? Like the difficulty with the Intercontinental Championship is it's actually called the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. WWE, I wish, had introduced an open weight title where these guys could shine. It's the mid card, like lighter guy belt. We're good. Hey, Braun Strowman doesn't qualify for this match. Don't worry about him. But I don't like the term cruiserweight. It just makes you think of a really teeny tiny person. But that's what WCW did in the 90s during the Monday Night Wars that made WCW Nitro like fire. There was a whole hour of the cruiserweights. And why Vince never thought, let's have all these guys, Finn Balor, Neville, Buddy Murphy, the guys who fit this mold of a body frame. Sure, a Finn Balor, if we can get him on the right regiment to bulk up, maybe to 210. Let's say 210, because I remember now 205 Live was the cruiserweight, designation. Get him to bulk up to a heavyweight division so when you want to push Finn, you're good. But let's not forget the contributions that Neville can do to our card, or a Buddy Murphy, whatever. But this match highlights guys of that frame and how great they are.
Yeah, I mean, I probably because I just recently watched the Samoa Joe interview. I think Hideo's on, and they were talking about they changed the X division to like kind of not just be like X division was there obviously cruiserweight thing, but obviously they changed it to this about any like they didn't have a set weight limit because basically they wanted Samoa Joe to be in there, so they basically changed the whole thing where it's not about.
Great choice though, because he bumps like hell for smaller guys.
Oh, I mean, they were talking about that great triple threat. Was it Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles?
Styles and Samoa Joe.
Oh God, I need to find a copy of that because I want to watch that match again. It's because it's so freaking good. I'm sure.
I'll see if I can rip one because TNA came out with an AJ Styles like compilation of his best matches. So I was like, this is the only time I will buy something from their website. So I have like AJ's TNA anthology, and that's on it. I'll see if I can convert it and send you a copy.
Oh, please. I'd love to watch that match again. But I mean, maybe that's what they could have done. have like a situation, maybe not maybe not name it cruiserweights, or just do what you said, like make it into that way, or just or make the Intercontinental title what it's like it should be, and maybe or change the balls a bit or change it up a bit. I don't know. I was just watching this match and thinking he just would have been a great IC champion. It just would have been great, because obviously that's all about the matches and the quality of matches. And
think about the matches Neville would be having right now with Braun Breaker. Sorry, I just had an aneurysm for a bit. I went a little brain dead because that would have been something special.
I think Neville is just like, he came to WWE at the, like, just not the worst time, because obviously he's going to NXT, but if
you just described half of this NXT roster right now, my friend.
I know. It's like, well, we all know the reason we loved NXT back then is because it was basically giving us what we wanted. But yeah, the main roster wasn't. That's why we were that's pretty much why we loved it. And
yes, I agree.
I'm watching this again, just makes me laugh. I can see it. But yeah, I was just thinking that Neville would have been a great IC, but it was never meant to be, unless he comes back. I mean, a lot of people are coming back from AEW. It's a possibility.
We can only hope. We can only hope to get so many people as far away from Jon Moxley as possible.
Oh yeah, we don't want to talk about that. Was it AEW?
I don't want to talk about any guy who's getting choked out in jiu-jitsu competitions by non-athletes. I do not want to talk about Jon Moxley except to bury him. You know what I do want to talk about, my friend?
I'm assuming it's the Fatal 4-Way.
I would like to talk about 3 people who are the pillars of women's wrestling in WWE for the last decade or so, and the person who ended up winning the match. That's what I want to talk about.
I see. Oh, I keep forgetting for last week. Not a huge fan of Sasha Banks.
I do not care for that person at all.
But yeah,
the last person to win a title off of my dear Stephanie Vacour. See how I shoehorned that one in? Boom!
So is that what it is? That's what it truly is. That's what it really is.
Oh no, I have the only times I've ever defended Sasha Banks were in the moments where she has been hurt by very reckless wrestlers. In moments where maybe she took a bump she didn't need to because Nia Jax decided to fall on her. And I go, oh, poor Sasha. Sure, I'll give her sympathy for that. But otherwise, I understand why people gravitate to her. I'm not going to poo-poo, their love of her, right? If you love the wrestlers you love. Me, I saw this Fatal 4-Way match, and I just kept identifying Charlotte. I was just like, you are undeniable. You are going to be the person in my household that we hold as the standard bearer of quality women's wrestling. Look, I have to say in my household, because my wife is the biggest Charlotte Flair fan on the planet. All right, biggest. You will not get my wife to say there's a better female wrestler walking this earth than Charlotte Flair. It's not going to happen. You have Bayley, who is the great constant, right? She'll never have the titles that Charlotte has. She'll never have the movement of the man that Becky Lynch had. But everyone's going to look at Bayley and go, you were so damn great for so long. She's the longevity one in this situation. Oh. Becky Lynch is the one that we grew with, right? You're still trying to figure out, okay, you did the weird hair spinning when you got in the ring, and this, by the way, that was so jarring for me. She gets in the ring and then just starts whiplashing her hair. I'm like, we are not at a rock concert. Your music does not set you up for this. She goes from that to steampunk to we don't know what's happening on SmackDown, and then she became the man, and everybody was just like, oh, Lord, our journey is over. We have suffered so much. Now we're rocketing to the moon here. And then you have the person who won this match.
Fair enough. But, yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad when you think about it. It's like, whatever you thought it's on Sasha Banks, like, I'm sure this is the only time these 4 competitors have gone against each other. They're supposed to be the cornerstones of the, 4 horsewomen, but they're the only time we've only had one match between them all. That when you think about it, it is quite sad. Like, well, it feels like a thing that could have been. Obviously, we got that triple threat. I can't remember what WrestleMania it was. 30. I'm saying 6 or 5, 4. Like with triple threat. I mean, that was amazing. But like,
wait, the triple threat WrestleMania 32, Charlotte, Sasha,
32.
and
That's it.
Becky.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was the closest we got to it. But like, when you think about it, wherever you've got different Sasha Banks, like, it's just really sad. Like, it seems like we should have had more kind of like interactions like that, you know, like fatal four ways between each other, because obviously they are, as we said before, no one was doing stuff like this.
Yes.
In WWE at this time. And what I love about this match, it was just action packed. It didn't stop. Was it, how long is it? Like 12 minutes of just constant.
It's a little over 12 minutes, and you hit the nail again right on. Look, I'm just gonna start calling you Bullseye. You're a Daredevil villain. You're Bullseye. You hit it. This match, they just showcased so much action. It was frenetic at times. It was the only match on this card that felt like frenzy was happening. And that's what sets it apart. Everybody's like the crowd's into it. They're like, oh shit, what's going to happen next? That was the vibe. Wonderful.
We didn't know. To be fair, I mean, obviously, even if you, obviously, we know who won it, obviously, because it's like, maybe obviously, but if you're going in then, it's like, obviously, you didn't know who's going to win. Obviously, you could sit there and say at the time, like, obviously, Becky Lynch probably wasn't going to win this match because I think they were just about.
She was a lackey.
Well, they were just starting off her character, weren't they? Like, at that point, like, they were just like, but I mean, could you sit there and say that? I think it's like this. I mean, I think Becky. Remember watching this back in the day when it first came out. It was like Becky Lynch. She was like, oh, this Becky Lynch character. She's quite good too. Like, because obviously at that time they were just focusing on Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha Banks. But then it's like, I think like Becky Lynch was involved, and it's like, oh, she's quite good too. Could you sit there and say this is the match that made people take notice of Becky Lynch?
No. And that is not a knock on Becky Lynch. You get absolute effort from her in this match. She becomes noticeable. I would say the best she could have hoped to be in this match was noticeable. That's not a knock on her because, again, the audience has not attached themselves to her journey. So far, her only motivations is she's aligning herself with Sasha because she wants in on the action too, as opposed to being the credible threat. This match only had 2 credible threats to me, and that's also not a knock on Bayley. But Bayley is the quintessential hero's journey in NXT. We get there eventually. We just have to ride with her a little bit longer. This match comes down to, is this the moment Charlotte Flair completely just cuts the women's division off at their legs? Does she smother them? Or is the conniving, see you next Tuesday? I know I could say this if this was only airing on your side of the pond, but here in America, they don't let me say that word. So, I'm bound. But Sasha was the only credible threat to take the title off. And she did. She took the title off of Charlotte. I also loved how, again, Charlotte, as dominant as she is, she's trying to do the noble thing at the end of the match, like, let me go shake your hand. And then Sasha just turns into a total bitch and fakes her out. Like, that was perfect. That's the way you want to add that little exclamation point later on.
Yeah, I mean, I did like that. I mean, I would ask a question with the finish though, because when you think about, like, obviously Shannon, was it the crossface, or was it, it's called when I finished submission?
Bank statement.
Yeah, I kind of liked the idea. I liked what they did here. It's like the idea. It's like, you don't want her to tap. So basically, it's like, well, I'm not going to get her to tap. So she just kind of it was a creative finish in a way. It's like hooked her arms and just got the pin win there instead of it being like.
I'm good with that. Yes.
Because obviously with that situation, you're expecting Charlotte to tap, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as you said before, with stuff about Triple H booking, where everyone comes out looking kind of good at the end, like the idea that basically like Charlotte can come out and say, well, yes, you pinned me, but I never tapped. I never, like, you got me unawares and got me on a quick roll up. You never actually beat me, like maybe tap out or pin, like, proper took me out type situation. So, I mean, I can't remember. They obviously, I don't think they had a rematch, did they? After this one, no. I don't think.
The only tweak I maybe, and I say maybe because this match is really good for what it is. I think if you want to change the finish, I would try to find an element where Sasha manipulates Becky into doing something. Maybe Becky hits like that end of the match shot on Charlotte, and then Sasha turns around like, oh, let's go work on Bayley, and then Sasha steals like the pin in a very asshole kind of way. Maybe find some angle where Becky's gonna look sympathetic because she was manipulated and duped, right? But outside of that, 3 people were made to look super strong in this match, and that's perfectly fine. Bayley, Sasha, and Charlotte. So no complaints there.
Yeah, I just thought it was really cool, like, because obviously I said it was just like, it was kind of out of left field in a way, because obviously you're so used to when someone's got a submission, they're going to tap, or like it's not, I don't know.
But I think this card needed something out of left field, so it works. It works for this card.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you could sit there. Did the women's like through this period, like I think 2-3 pay-per-views, like did they ever have a bad match? Because obviously we've seen through all of them, it's like it was just quality all round.
That is very true. I mean, I wasn't in love when we covered the next takeover. I wasn't in love with Sasha versus Becky. So I wasn't in love with it. It's not a bad match, but I wasn't in love with it.
Well, spoiler for the next episode. It's like going into that.
We gave you the winner, and now we've told you who their next challenger is.
Well, we are going in that we just know when we get to that match, we just know that you're not a fan. That's
Yeah, as long as we're covering Sasha look, outside of Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 37, I don't care. I just don't care. 0 fucks given over here in New York, friend. There you go.
Fair enough. But that's okay. So that's that we got for that. Let's get to the main event, the match we wanted to see after the shocking ending.
The meat and potatoes of this card. The shepherd's pie, if you will.
100% agree. Yes, anyway. Let's talk about the NXT Championship match where you've got the champion Sami Zayn going against his former best friend Kevin Owens for the title. Yeah. Sorry,
I had to do the air quotes. The former best friend.
Yes, and I don't know what to say. It's just what I love about this story is like the promo package for it is brilliant. I have to admit, go it in. Absolutely.
WWE does promo package better than anybody else, and no one's going to tell me otherwise. There's not a single company that has ever done the promo package better than WWE.
Oh, that's a list in itself. Like,
yeah,
and that's got to do that at some point. But anyway, but yeah. So obviously, the promo package is great. I just love the idea. Again, I was talking about it. Like Kevin Owens doesn't care. He's like he said, it's not personal. It's just business. If I just want to win the title because I need more money to feed my family, as simple as that. And it's like, well, it feels pretty personal. I mean, Kevin,
did you have to powerbomb me on the ring apron?
I mean,
you didn't have to.
Like, no, Kevin, did you? You didn't have to like possibly paralyze me and end my career. But hey, it's not.
That's the best way to say things aren't personal. He just goes around maiming people. It's not personal. Like, then what is personal, you psychopath?
Yes. I mean, for the finish, obviously we get to that a bit later, but yeah, that looks pretty personal to me. When you could have just ended it there, just get the win, but no, you had to go too far, Kevin, and just again wanted to paralyze your best friends, take him out. I mean, but yeah, I just love that line. It's like it's not personal, it's just business. It's like I think that's why Kevin Owens as a heel just works. It just works.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because listen, this is the greatest compliment I'll ever pay to Kevin Owens. No one plays like American Psycho better than Canadian Kevin Owens. He completely believes that he is vindicated in every action he takes, no matter how horrific the action. That's brilliant.
Well, it's the old saying, or the saying goes, the hero of his own story. It's a perfect example of that.
And I'm glad you bring that up because, you know, essentially Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are each other's Joker to their own Batman. They both think they're Batman and the other guy's the Joker. Right? And so they're the heroes of their story, and they're like, that son of a bitch over there, he's taken so much from me, I'm going to kill him. That's what it is. That's what they are.
It's why it's like when they have feuds, like obviously with Elimination Chamber 1, that's their recent one, everyone go, never, maybe it's just me, but it's just, I never go, oh, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn again. It's like, no, we don't, because it's like, it's a story that it can always tug on the emotions, and it always works.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously it's
as long as you space them out, right? You can't do them every month, but if you like every year they're gonna come back. It's like two forces that are attracted to one another magnetically or whatever keeps pulling them at each other. This feud, more than any other feud in wrestling history, embodies like kinetic energy and science. This is the science portion of our episode here, folks. But there's a physics aspect, there's a chemical aspect to these two. And by the way, I know you're not a big comic book fan. Are you familiar with the TV show Arrow, starring Stephen Amell, who played Green Arrow?
Of course, mate. I love that show.
Okay, so you did watch the show.
Oh, I'm saying I watched most every season, pretty much.
To me, the greatest bit of cinema that show ever accomplished was the season 2 finale. Green Arrow, Stephen Amell against Deathstroke. But more importantly, the cinematography of how they choreographed the final fight. In that the final fight was a shot-for-shot, blow-for-blow brawl of their first encounter as it is shown on the program. And now I give you this match, and I submit to you Elimination Chamber 2025 that you brought up, and tell me that they did not do the same kind of callback. So as I'm watching, I'm like, holy shit, I'm watching Arrow season 2, season finale. Oh my God. Like, I'm marking out for a completely different reason, a cinema reason. I was going to say cinematography, but like I was getting such vibes of that, and I'm like fumbling over myself as I'm watching. I'm like, look, I didn't like the match in its entirety, but when they got to the end, I was like, this is what you've brought me back to. Familiar memories. Thank you.
It's just, yeah. I mean, I'm glad you brought that up because, yeah, I mean, you only was it the old saying? Was it your hero is only as good as the villain they're going against?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason Sami Zayn is so beloved and is very good at being the baby face is because he's got the ultimate villain in Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ultimate foil. And yeah, I mean, if it comes to the match itself, I mean, it was very more Sami Zayn, obviously at the start was very like kind of, his emotions, kind of like he really wants to get his hands on Kevin Owens, but it was mostly Kevin Owens for this match. He really did dominate most of it. Really was him most of the match. And then it kind of obviously Sami Zayn did get into it, but yeah, it was mostly Kevin Owens really in this match. He was just totally like dominating this match.
And Sami won. Sami wins career-wise because he gets dominated. Because in having the opportunity to be the aggrieved party in this, to be the one who was wronged and stand up for what's right and still fail and have to wait until they're on the main roster when they finally have their match. I forget what year it was, but it was Battleground, where he finally makes Kevin Owens eat a haluva kick. And he gets that vindication back later. It wasn't the ideal, oh, I've been wronged, I'm going to get my justice now. No, he had to wait. He had to suffer through what so many people in their everyday lives have to suffer through. I got knocked down, but eventually I'll get back up, no matter how long it takes. It's that perseverance of Sami Zayn. And so again, this moment in time we're talking about, will lend itself to when Sami eventually comes back to WWE, and how long is it going to take for him to right that wrong that was done to him at Elimination Chamber?
I mean, it's why we love him, because basically,
yes,
It's because it's like, as you said, like that guy character wise has been through so much stuff, like would break any normal person, but he's still the Sami Zayn we love. I mean, obviously you had a bit of a blip, maybe in 2016, 17, when it was like they didn't know what to do with him, so they just made him sit in front of the crowd and just ask him random questions. I think I saw that. That was a thing, but when he got to the bloodline stuff, we all know how amazing that was. But like, yeah, it's basically, it's why we love him. It's why I do believe at some point they've got to give him a world title run at some point. It's inevitable, right? It needs to happen.
I think that's up to him. I think that's up to him in how I only pause with that because I also know he has a family, and I don't know how old his child is, but how many days does he want to be on the road as the world champ, right? Like, we also have to throw that in there. I don't know if his age and his family situation will kind of force him to go, I absolutely, even if it's 6 months, I need to do a run where I'm away from my family. Because me as a wrestling fan, I have always been sympathetic to the world champions who have admitted the Ric Flair. I mean, I can't use Ric Flair as an example. He loved being away from home, admittingly, but the Bret Harts of the world, right? How many times have we heard in interviews, Bret's talked about, I get to see my kids before Christmas, but then I got to go wrestle a Christmas Day show. And look, I feel horrible when I hear that kind of thing. I feel bad for every child of a world champion wrestler where I go, sorry that your dad was entertaining me when he should have been opening presents with you. Like, I don't know if that's the life Sami wants, at least for a portion of a year, maybe 2 a year.
Yeah, there's that, but I think it's like it has changed that in WWE now. It's like it's not a situation. They do work most of the year, but the idea of having time off and like, to like see family is more encouraged. Like in this regime, Triple H regime, then Vince, it's just basically working you every day. Like, you're working every day of the year until you're literally either injured or even
True.
then you probably still have to work until your doctor says you can't. That's pretty much Vince's philosophy, But yeah, I mean, we could do, but I just want to see it. It's like, maybe
I want to see it as well. Yeah,
you could sit there and say that moment. I think it was, what was it, when the feud with the Bloodline, when he was it his hometown? Could have been a moment there, but they didn't pull the trigger on that one. But
I just hope it doesn't sour you if they end up pulling the trigger where he steals the belt from Jey Uso. I hope it doesn't sour. I hope it doesn't spoil it for you if they decide to go the other route with Sami.
Well, all I can sit there and say is I'm a lover of good storytelling. So if they did it and it begins great storytelling, I don't want to see it, but I would be able to live.
Hey, maybe if it comes down to it, the Rock's champion John Cena ends up losing to the People's champion Sami Zayn.
Oh, that'd be great. I mean, I'm definitely up for that.
There you go.
But yeah, but basically, if I was booking, that's the way I would do it. But I'm not in charge of head of booking. So.
See, but this is why this program works, because you and I, we're linked here, right? I'm gonna cut that Dusty promo. My hand is touching your hand, baby. Like, again, this is why you got rid of the 6'2" beautiful Viking.
Yeah. We're setting up a match right here, aren't we? The winner becomes the co-host.
As long as it's not a ladder match, because he's got me beat in height.
Well, in chemistry, that means your job is to take out the legs.
I have to channel my inner Kevin Owens. Got it. Got it.
You've seen it, or just, I don't know. What's the thing they always use? The thing like handcuffed to the ropes. That could work. I don't know.
I could also pull a Rikishi and just run him over. I did it for Stu.
But it was Triple H that told you to do
it. What a horrible idea that was, but okay.
Oh, actually,
hell of a match, though.
Oh, 100% this match was. Yeah, I mean, I mean, one thing I got to ask, like, maybe it's because I don't understand WWE rules here, but This ended in a was it a knockout or like, you know,
referee stoppage?
I'm assuming titles can change hand through that stop when a referee stoppage?
Yes, because essentially the referee is saying this guy is unable to continue, and thus it's a forfeiture. It's treated like a forfeiture as it would be. I would say it's akin to like if you're watching MMA and a fighter, you know, knocks another guy to the ground and just starts ground and pounding him, and the person is unable to defend themselves, that you get that referee stoppage. So it's called a technical knockout. That's what we have here. It's a technical knockout.
I think I've been so used to that. Was it no disqualification, kind of like, oh, someone like gets involved in the match and it's like they win, but then to keep the title. So but then to be fair, WWE rule book is not exactly what you call, you know, consistent. So maybe I'm so confused.
It's a fluid entity, their rule book. It's a fluid entity.
Yes. Pretty much, yeah. But I just had to ask. I was like, wait a minute, I'm sure they can't. But then I thought, what we're doing, just don't overthink it. It's right cool. I would ask the question with this one. It's like he did all that stuff to win the title to Sami Zayn,
mm-hmm.
and then he lost it in 2 months. Like, is that obviously where he's going? Like, what him losing it this early was like, you kind of have to do it with Kevin Owens, I guess. But I don't know. It's just if we done that, it feels like if we done that in the main roster type stuff. We've seen it before where someone has a short title reign and it just doesn't end well for them.
Well, this is why I said Sami ends up winning having lost the match, because he carries himself and his own story progression to the point where he could easily write this off of, sure, maybe I prepared my body for this match, but my mind still hasn't reconciled that I just got betrayed by who, you know, this person is that I've loved and have fought alongside, driven up and down the road. Like, this match speaks to a very real situation. Again, I say betrayal. And Sami Zayn could easily say, I never recovered from that, or it took me a long time to recover from that. This is why we love Sami Zayn. Again, Sami Zayn as a wrestler is more about the perseverance of his performances as opposed to the execution of his moves. Nothing Sami Zayn does in a wrestling match makes you think, aha, there's the knockout shot. It's not like a Braun Breaker spear, which you just think someone just got murdered. But that's the brilliance of Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn as a performer takes the tools he has and maximizes everything else with his talking, right? The mic work, with his selling, with his ability to draw you in through his own suffering. Not a lot of baby faces do that. The last time, and I've heard this on podcasts in the past, and I'll agree with it. The last time I saw a baby face elicit this, you have to go all the way back to Ricky Steamboat, who is the purest of all pure baby faces in wrestling history. But I remember watching VHSs and watching back on the network, you'd see Ricky Steamboat like pleading, and the audience, like women, men, are in tears, like, someone save Ricky. He's just there. The horsemen are killing him, right? Sami Zayn as a babyface, when he's locked in, he's Ricky Steamboat. And that is the greatest compliment any babyface can ever get.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's as you said, like it's just he's just always been this kind of thing. You always sympathize with him. As you said before, it's like you always want him to win, and when he doesn't win, you're devastated. And it's just but yeah, I mean, I have to ask the question, because obviously it's like we all talk about, like, kind of like you could make an argument and sit there and say, well, he's a bit all this stuff for him to win the title, and then he lost it in like 2 months. But I see where you're coming from in the sense of, well, that was the story, and story's more important than title win.
Think of how sweet the gratification is going to be when he becomes world champ. It's almost like being a proud, loyal, enduring Liverpool supporter, and the toiling and the toiling, but think about how beautifully sweet 2025 is going to be to finally get there, to reach the mountaintop, a mountaintop that has been dominated the last 4 years by my squad, who are now suffering because they didn't just climb down the mountain, they fell down the goddamn mountain.
Right to the bottom. Jeez. What I love about that is you had to put a football analogy in there, and I'm absolutely for it. I love it, but
I know my partner. I know my buddy.
But it is true, though, isn't it? It is true. It's like things become sweeter when you have to wait. I mean, obviously with the football analogy, it's always been a couple of years, but that thing from when we first won it, like for the first time in 30 years, like it was the biggest. Felt so sweet because it's finally did it. I guess, and it's the same with Sami Zayn. It's like he got to the mountain, then he lost it, and it's taken him so long just to get back up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hope they do. Hopefully, it's one of those situations we do see that. Let's see with Sami Zayn. Like when he comes back, whatever he's going to be doing, I don't know what he's card, but yeah, we need. There's a pencil it in here. Say it first. We need a Sami Zayn world title.
Absolutely.
Reign. I mean, you could have put him against. Let me think. Maybe you could have put him against Gunther if obviously he didn't go for Jay, because he's the only person that's beaten him.
They already did it at a WrestleMania. Sami needs to take the title. Again, Sami fits the hero role. He needs to take the title against a hated villain. Gunther doesn't have hate. Gunther either has supreme reverence out of people like me, or he has people who are just getting impatient with his title reign, but nobody hates Gunther, right?
Yeah.
You need, again, heel Cena, heel Rock, dare I say, or, oh man, Kevin Owens has done it. He's the, after 9 years, he's world champion again. And then you hear, oh, and then a haluva kick to the face and it's over. You know?
Or if you're going to, maybe if you want to put a prediction, Sami Zayn Money in the Bank winner?
Hey, it would definitely make Money in the Bank more relevant again.
I mean, I can't remember the last cash in I think I've seen that's gone. I mean, there's been some good ones, but like proper memorable ones.
Yeah.
I mean, Damien Priest one was nice. I have to admit, I enjoyed that one. That was kind of.
Hey, as a fellow Puerto Rican from the Bronx, hey, in my family we were like setting off fireworks. We were like, we got one, we did it.
Remember watching that cash in because we watched it in a pub in was it like early in the morning, late at night, was it in the UK, and it's just like you just heard people laughing, going, what? Drew can't catch a break, can he? He's won the big one, and then he loses it in like a couple of seconds.
But look at that. He's had such folly, and now he's bigger than he was a year ago.
Yeah.
Wrestling is the only form of entertainment where you can somehow become more important through defeat. That's an amazing aspect of why we love wrestling.
And also, and it's a good concept of life, isn't it? You learn more from your defeats than you do for your victories anyway.
Oh, right there. The first match, because it's going into the Hall of Fame, right? The memorable, iconic moment, Bret Hart, Stone Cold. Stone Cold becomes legendary because he has blood spewing down his face and passes out in the sharpshooter. Gained more in defeat than victory.
And probably
I would drop this mic if I didn't own it.
And consider probably one, if you could be, if not the best double turn in wrestling. Was it wrestling history?
Not even close. Not even close. Yeah, that's number one, end all be all forever.
But yeah, I mean, what a way to end this show as well. Like, it's just. But yeah, I mean, yes, I guess wrap this up, I guess, and then let's put our final thoughts on NXT Takeover Rivals. I mean, obviously we talked about the whole thing. Overall, what's your feelings of this show?
Because of 4 matches, I'm going to call it the best NXT Takeover yet. Out of the previous ones, this is better than, and I say that despite matches 2 and 3, which I really wish I would have taken a longer time in the bathroom before I came back to watch. Should have just stayed in there until I heard Finn's music, but that's neither here nor there.
But I mean, to be fair though, like what I like about me personally is it's just like the matches that are just. It was just like when you know how NXT is going to be. I've seen this many times. Like NXT is going to be the style. How like basically they went through a phase where basically every takeover was just excellent, right? It's like when you see progression. It's just like I watched this this NXT one. I was like, yeah, I can see where they got the idea from. I can see why they went for 4 matches instead of 6, because they thought, well, maybe if we just stick to the really good matches and maybe not put a 4-minute no GQ match with against Paul Dempsey and Corbin, or a tag team title match with 2 teams that didn't really work well together. Maybe we should just go through all the matches and pick the good ones. And eventually they did do that, but I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that statement. It's the best takeover. Yeah, because the beautiful thing about takeovers is they just keep getting better and better and better and better.
I agree. This NXT takeover rival is the Stephanie Vacour of all the takeovers that has already happened. See how I did that again?
You had to put it right at the end. You have to just stick that last one in there. Jesus.
Yes.
But yeah, I think I don't know. It's just
By the way, did you just accuse me of sticking something right in there?
That was not intentional. Don't try.
Oh, that heel turn! You're coming over to the dark side, buddy. Woo!
Didn't even know I said it. Oh my god! How dare
See? I've always looked at innuendo as like the cousin of subliminal messaging. We've done it.
What have you done? What have you done to me?
No, not this way. Don't do that to Stu. Not this way. So many wonderful callbacks.
But anyway.
Just remember, everyone, if you're going to cancel anybody, you cancel me because I don't care. All right? But you don't take this out on Sweet Stu. You take this out on me, or you take this out on his Viking friend, Josh. One of us.
That doesn't even know what's going on and is not involved in any way. But yeah, let's take out.
That's the point. That's the point.
Anyway. So if we're going to... If we're going to rank this thing, because obviously I think we put, was it the great, good, okay, put it in the bin. Where would you rank this?
This is absolutely, I believe I just said this is the Stephanie Vacour of all. This is great.
Yeah.
This is great. I love it. I love everything about this. Well, no, God, I'm lying. I love everything about 4 matches on this card. Everything. Chef's kiss on 4 of those matches. And for the extended bathroom break they gave me.
I mean, if I really want to put you on the spot, I can sit and say, what was it out of them 4 great matches? What do you think is the best?
Oh, come on. It's the main event. Listen, I never believe any wrestling fan who goes, I'm a wrestling fan because of all the work rate matches. Then you're not a wrestling fan. Without the story, there's no point. You need all conflict is driven by deep-seated unprocessed emotion, right? Unprocessed emotion. And if you tell me, oh yeah, did you see that match? Oh, their work rate and all the flips. No. All the weapons. No. Give me the story. Give me the reason why I should care. Draw me in. And that main event might be the best main event produced by WWE that entire year.
I mean, 2015?
That was a super lean year.
I mean, actually, yeah. I mean, yeah.
You cannot give me any match from WrestleMania 31 that year that would hold up. I don't think. I mean, that's the year of Seth Rollins' title reign. None of those were bangers. None of them.
Well, you could sit there and say, did Seth Rollins save that main event? The answer to that question is yes. Yes, he did.
Yes, he did, because it's the oh wow shocking moment. But look, I'm a mark for the Brock Lesnar type. Just give me the hulking Goliath turning everybody's face into hamburger meat, and I'm happy, right? I'm very easy to please. You put Braun Breaker, give him somebody he could break in half, and I go away happy. So I would have been fine with seeing Roman Reigns' chiseled Greek god. Well, no, he's half Italian. Roman god, like, no, I watched the documentary on him. They said his mother's Italian. We talk about all this Samoan dynasty. The man ran the bloodline like the mob. We are completely ignoring. This is the rant of the episode, everybody. We completely ignore. There is nowhere on this planet you hear the whispers of, oh, the Samoan mob. Oh, it's such a scary thing. No, it's the mob. And when you say the mob, there are only a few cultures where you're just like, we don't mess with those people. They'll hurt us. And Roman, listen, I don't know why another wrestler hasn't tapped into this with jokes. Tapped into the whole, listen, you say all your Samoan stuff, but you tapped into your mom's heritage here to run WWE like your personal criminal enterprise. You know?
It's true. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, when you think about that, X could explain what that Goodfellas was it parody they did works so
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
That was brilliant. But I can't disagree with that statement, to be fair, with the best match of 2015, because that was, like, maybe it's just I blocked it from my mind. I'm not saying it was like horrible, but just I can't think of one off the top of my head. I have to do a bit of research on that, but
since it's 2015, we know it's WrestleMania 31. When you think of WrestleMania 31, you have to get into Seth Rollins' title reign that goes at least as far as October, because then he has his knee injury, and then there's that Survivor Series where they did their like pseudo deadly games tournament that Roman wins, Sheamus cashes in, and then nobody remembers a single Roman Reigns Sheamus match for the world title that year. This is why I present this as the match of 2015, because just on boom, what pops into your head first, knowing this is 2015, nothing can compare to it.
Well, put example in the sense of the idea that basically this is not a podcast talking about 2015 WWE, talking about all the NXT takeovers. So it shows you a point that basically NXT was
they were on fire.
Oh, it's just so good. But yeah, I don't disagree with that statement. And like I said, I'd be surprised if, well, there's always someone that would, but like if you went online and put what was the best match go back 2015, I wouldn't be surprised if this is on this list. I've got to be honest. Or be on like the top 5 at least.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, well, that's the end of, I guess it's go wrap it up, I guess. Was it being said, we're talking a long time, but when it comes to NXT, I can talk about it for this is short compared to how long I actually could talk about it. We're talking if doing 3-hour podcast was a thing, but it's not. So
especially if I have license to bring up Stephanie McCoy more, man, we can go 5-6 hours. To quote Ric Flair, I could go all night long. Woo!
My words. I mean, maybe we should get like counter of how many times you brought it up in this podcast.
And now we hope you've enjoyed our Stu Irvine's NXT Rewind drinking game. Enjoy. How many times does he bring her up?
Oh, God. I've lost count, but yeah, maybe I've got to find a way to put a counter right at the top there or something.
Mm-hmm.
And put a ding on it as well. Bailey
That's
style.
Right. I'm very good with a counter of Stephanie McCoy right above me. Just put her right there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
We can't take you anywhere, can we?
No, listen, as a former student of jiu-jitsu, I'm very comfortable working from the bottom. Boom.
I know I was at the old and on that bombshell. Anyway, but yeah, so it's been my NXT Takeover. Was it NXT Takeover Rewind review of NXT Takeover Rivals? Bit of a mouthful, but you know we finally got with the name, so I'm happy with it. So we're sticking with it. But yes, obviously, yeah, we're going to be back with I can't remember what is the next NXT Takeover. I actually can't remember off the top of my
head. My bad, buddy. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. After this NXT, I kind of phased them out of my head until Kevin Owens defends against Finn Balor at TakeOver Brooklyn 1. So I know there's one takeover right before that. This was February 2015. There's one takeover before we get to Brooklyn.
Well, yes, we're going to terrible just from my point of view. She probably would have researched that. But yes, we'll be back for the next takeover episode.
Why? It's not until the next episode. You don't have to know what you're doing tomorrow, today.
True, but I do. So I like to know what I'm doing today.
Fine. Fine. You got to leave yourself up for spontaneity. You have to leave yourself up to the potential that at any point Stephanie McCord might walk through that door. She did not. Okay. Sometimes you try to manifest things and it just doesn't happen. Meanwhile, my wife is staring at me angrily from the doorway. The trick is, folks, clear the kind of banter you're going to do with your spouse before you do it. Yes.
Very true. Very true. But anyway, we will be back for the next episode when we're talking about more about the next NXT Takeover. It's going to be fun as always. Thanks once again. Thanks for joining me on this one yet again, mate.
Yeah, no, it was my pleasure. And for our Spanish-speaking audience, muchísimas gracias para venir y que tenga un buen fin de semana. Con mucho amor, yo soy Ángel y él es Stuart. Adiós. There are Spanish speakers around the world going, that was so goddamn awful.
I've got to be honest, I wasn't expecting that. You took me now. I wasn't expecting that at all, but sounded great for me. But
I listen, I have to work on my Spanish because that is Stephanie Vicor's first language. So I have to make sure. Listen, it's not enough to use body language to get across what you want to do. You also have to say things.
Jesus. But anyway, yes. So obviously, if something doesn't, something hasn't happened to Andrew after the next episode, hopefully he should be back for the next episode.
If Roman Reigns hasn't gotten to me first for making all those Italian jokes, I'll be here next time.
Yes, and obviously the good thing is if you don't want to watch this through visual, YouTube and stuff like that and video, I finally put these podcasts on. Was it Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well? I finally decided to put all of them on there because I think some people might want to listen as well as watch videos of it as well. So yes, if you go just type in Stuart Irvine NXT Takeover Rewind and you'll find it. It's a really nice little logo that Angel nicely made for more me.
I try, amigo. I try.
So to find that out, and so that'll be in the description of the video as well. So all I can say is I've been Stuart Irvine, and see you next time, everyone. So bye.
Bye, everybody. Love you, Stephanie.